He fell down the stairs. Itai! Austin and I managed to jump off our desk at the last second, saving ourselves from a nasty fall. The stairs don't go down that far, so the desk still seemed to be alright. Everything would be perfectly fine if not for one tiny detail. At the bottom of the stairs, clearly frightened by her near-death experience with our flying sled desks, we find the new substitute teacher. Uh-oh. Oh, what do we do now? Kier? Congratulations, Oz. You're the sled desk race champion. I'm retiring from all future competitions, so feel free to forget about my past titles that I never existed in the first place. As the new champion, you need to explain what happened to the administration. The fate of the Global Sled Desk League rests on your shoulders. Farewell! What are you even talking about? Here! Panro! Where are you going? I'm at the nurse's office. Rather than leaving the school through the main entrance, I prefer going out from here instead. It isn't like there's a real nurse here though, so the attendant is actually the groundskeeper. She handles a lot of different tasks, from paperwork to carrying all of the keys. It seems like in all of the, animes, where there's like a high school, the main characters, or at least I don't know, either the protagonist or any kind of character in the story, it always seems that they can just visit the nurse's office anytime they want and just relax there. But I don't know how common that is actually in real life, because at least where I live, there wasn't any kind of nurse office as far as I know. Right? There was first aid kits, I think, in the classroom, but no one would go to a nurse's office or anything. In fact, they would go to the main office, actually, near the reception area. And if something ever happens, then the nurse or some sort of first aid person would just go there and fix them up. But there weren't any beds as far as I know, so I wonder how grounded in reality nurse rooms or nurse offices there are in actual schools. Maybe, and now that I think about maybe it's just I just had a school that didn't have a nurse office. Anyway, I'm rambling. If you persuade her that you're sick enough, you can take a nap here for a while and sneak out after she leaves. Since she handles so many different things, she won't usually notice if you're gone by the time she comes back. In any case, she doesn't trust anybody, so the nurse's office collects dust more than anything. Then how would I convince her to let me stay? Easy. I told her the truth. My right leg aches badly. I guess it's the partial truth. I sit on one of the beds and massage my leg from the knee down, hoping it'll lessen the pain. Afterwards, I take out a small bottle of painkillers and stare at it as it sits in the palm of my hand. I decide against opening it and put it back in my pocket. Is that your bottle of painkillers, or do you take it from the nurse's office? Because I don't know. That's kind of not okay. I lay on the bed and close my eyes before I start taking deep breaths until I eventually feel myself get lost deep in thought. The new substitute must be pissed. She may have not seen us do it, but it's just a matter of time until she figures it out. Nobody got hurt, but even I recognize that we went overboard. If yesterday's prank made her angry, I can't imagine how she took this one. I wonder, will they finally punish me this time? I mean, you might get expelled, worst case scenario. You vandalize, basically, school property. So, it's a good possibility that you will be punished. in some way, Mr. Protagonist. After 15 minutes, I feel better. I get up and walk over to the window. The nurse's office is on the first floor, so you can climb down into the back field, making it a perfect place to sneak out from. I haven't made a habit of it, but this won't be the first time that I escape out of this window when I want to play hooky. Skipping classes? That's bad. You should be learning as a student and all that. I don't know. Let's see. Although it's a small fall, my leg still hurts. Thankfully, it's tolerable, but that doesn't change how uncomfortable the feeling is. I'll rest more once I'm home. Better get going. There's a fence behind the school that separates it from the park. No one goes back there, and the fence has a locked gate that's easy to pick if you're skilled enough. Once you're in the field, the park is only several steps away. I make my way through the park and to the pond, and begin writing in my notebook. It's not like I have anything better to do, but you'd think by now I would have learned how dangerous it is to walk around with my face stuffed in a book. What was that? Something suddenly hits me in the stomach. Thankfully, it doesn't really hurt. At first I don't see anything, but when I look down I find the culprit. Ow, that hurts! At my feet, there's a girl with her hands wrapped around her head. At first I think it's because she ran into me, but then she starts to panic for seemingly another reason. She keeps swatting at the air around her head. When she realizes there's nothing there, she goes pale. My hat! She gets visibly nervous, her eyes darting around the area. After a moment, she settles down on looking at my shoes, or more precisely, what's behind them, none other than her previously missing hat. I bend over to pick it up, brushing the dirt off as best I can before handing it back to her. Well, this is yours, right? The god. She's a god now. No. The girl nods in relief as she reaches out her hands to retrieve her possession. At the last second, I raise my arms and pull the hat out of her reach. What? Now you're teasing her? Man, the protagonist is an asshole. She seems familiar somehow. Her name's on the top of my tongue, but nothing comes to mind. I'm positive I met her before. I bring the hat closer to her, watching as her face lights up with happiness. But I still can't remember who she is. One more time. I move the hat out of her reach and watch her as she automatically grows anxious. Man, I already said this. I'm gonna say it a third. Well, how many times did I say it? 1, 2, I don't know. I'm saying it one more time. Our protagonist is an asshole. I could do this all day. You stop bullying her. God damn it. Finally, I relent and return her belonging. I know better than to tease little girls too much. Do you make it a habit to tease little girls, Mr. Protagonist? You shouldn't do that. She gets up and inspects her hat, desperately placing it back upon the top of her head as if her life depends on it. She looks so happy. Some people are so easily satisfied. But I still haven't figured out how I know her. Maybe taking a closer look will help. She responds doubtfully, staring me down as she slowly takes 2 steps towards me. Eventually, we're only inches apart from each other. I still can't remember her. It's like I know her, but I can't put a name to her face. Suddenly, she surprises me and breaks the silence with a question. Are you gonna keep staring like that or kiss me already? Suddenly, I break the Guinness World Record for backflips, barely managing to stutter anything in response. Kiss you? I wasn't going to. Oh, so it was a staring contest. God damn it. I won, right? What's my reward? Once she shows me her radiant smile, I remember who she is. that nutcase from yesterday. Well, I'd argue that you're the nutcase, Karen. I think part of me tried to block that event out of my memory, understandably so. However, I have to admit that I'm pretty curious to know what her deal is. Our encounter yesterday was just so random and weird that I can't help but feel curious. There's no reward. It wasn't a contest in the first place. I just couldn't remember who you were, Mysterious Girl Y? Mysterious Girl Y? Well, X is already taken. It's a long story. Look, it doesn't matter. It was just a misunderstanding. Let's start over from the beginning. Who are you? What's your name? Well, my name is Claire. Argus. I'm 18 years old. My blood type is B. I'm 4 feet 9 inches tall. I weigh 97 pounds. My measurements are 25, 20, 27, and my favorite color is silver. Are you really 18? And my favorite periodic table element is tungsten. Oh, good choice. Tungsten is my favorite metal. No, wait a second, don't mess with me. What kind of introduction was that? You said you're 18 years old? Are we in the same grade? I thought you were a kid. How would I know? You haven't even introduced yourself yet. What kind of gentleman refuses to introduce himself to a lady before conversing with her? I totally understand that you're nervous after failing to kiss me, but you have to get over it. Believe in yourself. Second time's the charm. I wonder if she's doing that on purpose or if she's really insane. In the end, I decided to introduce myself, pushing aside her weird attempts at cheering me up. Without getting into much detail, I explain what I'm doing here so I can resolve the misunderstanding, if there ever was a misunderstanding in the first place. I know I shouldn't just go with the flow, but I think that's probably harmless to observe this odd specimen. After I introduce myself, I try to learn more about her. She responds quickly and clearly when I ask about her studies. She tells me that she's currently studying at the other side, Annotaste Institute. That explains how I didn't know her when we were in the same grade. There are only 2 schools in the area. When I ask her what she's doing at the park, however, her attitude changes dramatically. Well, I wanted to skip school, so that's what I did. Nothing else to it. Oh, so you're a troublemaker, I see. Well, it suits you. You already have the issues for it. Maybe, but I have my own reasons for it too. The tenderness in her words, even after I mocked her, surprises me. Is this really the same girl from a minute ago? Well, what reasons are those? I already told you the truth, because I wanted to. But you won't believe me, right? The most logical reasons would be that I felt too stressed out, controlled, and pressured, and that's why I ran away. Those types of things could easily lead me to do this. Would that answer satisfy you? That isn't why I came here, but it's the conclusion you're gonna arrive at anyway, so I don't need to give you any more details. Hold on. If you don't want to answer, then you don't have to. No need to take it so seriously. Everyone has the right to keep their secrets. Is that so? Well, it's obvious that Claire doesn't believe me. What's wrong with her? I don't understand. Well, it's a lot easier when you have a convenient excuse. For example, when someone invites you out but you don't have to go, if you tell them you have to work, take a test, or go on a date with your sweetheart, then you can get rid of the issue in the blink of an eye. Speak of the devil. Tell me, Karen. Claire takes a deep breath and closes her eyes for a second before casually asking me an unexpected question. Do you want to go out with me? What? Be my boyfriend, my partner, my better half. It wasn't a difficult question. This is the second time she's thrown an inconceivable question at me. What kind of joke is this? We haven't even known each other 5 minutes before she confesses to me. She seems to be completely serious right now. Her face says that she's not messing around. She sincerely confessed to me. I believe her so much that it's scaring me. I hesitate, stuttering while trying to answer. I have a difficult time looking her in the eyes. I'm too nervous and frightened. Claire then places her index finger against my lips, silently telling me to stop. You took too long to answer, and that's no good. A half-baked answer won't do it for me. After all, to me the most important thing is that you're truthful. I swallow deeply while lost in thought, questioning how difficult it is to decipher her words, or rather her. Claire seems to notice my uncertainty, or maybe it's curiosity. She turns around and begins pacing with her hands behind her back. It looks like she's looking for or thinking about something. With a smile on her face, she finally announces her thoughts. I know. Let's play a game as an example. It's pretty simple, so you'll be able to understand what I was trying to say. Claire's in high spirits, more like she was at the beginning of our conversation. I shrug. It isn't like I have anything to say about it anyways. Imagine on top of that tree over there that there's a nest of baby birds, and waiting on the top of that rock next to it is a hungry cat. Let's call him Sneeza. Kaniza? Kaniza? Why? Kaniza, or is it a soft C or a hard C? Sneeza? Sneeza? I don't know. Let's just stick with one pronunciation, even if it's wrong. Let's say Sneeza. I don't know. It's cute. Don't you like it? Why aren't you naming the birds too? Giving names to imaginary birds? Are you totally insane? I forgot who I was talking to for a second. Please just get on with it before I decide to drown someone in a pond. There isn't much to say. The question is simple. What do you do? That's a pretty unimaginative question, eh? It's pretty typical. You know, if you scare the cat away and save the chicks, then the cat will die of hunger. If you help the cat, then the birds will die. In the end, you'll have to choose who dies and who lives. Most people would just let nature take its course, since you can't have everything work out perfectly all of the time. It's the circle of life, Simba and all that. Well, that's the problem though. Aren't you a part of nature too? It's easy to forget that when it's convenient for you. If I choose to take the cat with me, then I have to do it for everyone, so it's not viable. I can't evolve myself anyways, because maybe the cat prefers to live that way. Those are the excuses we make so that we can benefit the most in the end, to make our lives easier. There's nothing wrong with that, we're only human. There are times when even our selfish decision is the best one too. But can you accept what comes afterwards? What comes afterwards? That's why I don't plan on explaining myself to you any further, and why I won't accept any half-baked love confessions from anyone. Get it? Next time, try to do a better job, alright? For some reason, it all makes sense to Claire, but I'm not as convinced. I don't know what the hell she's just tried to explain to me at all. Some say it's impossible to understand a woman. This lady wins first place, hands down, as the most complicated. Well, you know, you don't have to be a woman to be complicated, I guess. It can be impossible to understand in general if that's your personality. You know, having a strong will and all that, and being in your own world, it can be hard to understand you. I don't know. Oh, I gotta go. I forgot my bag in the classroom, and if I don't go back before the next class starts, I might lose it. Why didn't you bring it with you? That's what I did. I also switched desks with another guy so it wouldn't look like I left. He isn't guilty of anything, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Isn't that what you just tried to tell me? What are you even talking about? My criminal record? Nothing you should pay attention to. To be completely honest with you, I just wanted to get the last word in after your weird triad. Don't worry about it, Kieran. Not everything in the world makes sense. We're already ninja accomplices. Our bond is thicker than blood. You don't have to hide anything from me, comrade. I don't think anybody has ever gone to jail for skipping class, but if they do go after us, I plan on blaming it all on you, comrade. Ew, you were so nice the other day and now you're acting like this. What a letdown, Kieran. Minus 50 affection. Don't give up though, I know you're better than that. Believe in yourself for me, alright? Until next time. Ending our conversation with words of encouragement, Claire starts to walk away. She turns around and enthusiastically waves to me after every couple of steps. So enthusiastic for a goodbye. And I just lost 50 affection. Now that I think about it, she said weird things last time too. I may not know what goes on in her head, but I know one thing for sure. For better or worse, this probably won't be the last time that I cross paths with her. I guess. I think you're both weirdos though. Claire and Kieran. Claire and Kieran. Come on, you knew this would happen. You gave us your word, you have to do it. It'll be a lot of fun. Be positive. Besides, with such a long face, you'll get stuck in all of the doorways. You don't want to get hurt, right? You could at least say something. You're too quiet. What's on your mind? I'm trying to think of a good place to hide a body. You only have yourself to blame, so stop moping around. As if we're on a crime show, Ziva came to my house to arrest me. With her, she brought a warrant in the form of a promise. I had promised that I'd follow up on the email if I lost the sled desk race, which brings us to now. I find myself trekking along to the sports center, unsure of what to do next. Ziva is accompanying me, but Oz couldn't make it for some reason. The point of all this was clearly just to ruin my afternoon. Still, it was my gambling addiction that did me in. After all this, you haven't asked. Aren't you gonna ask me what happened after you ditched class? Well, not really. Everyone imagined that all the tables grew sentient and started to run away. A 3-day suspension for both you and us. Now you're kidding me. Yes. Don't jokes about that stuff, woman. I pulled some strings to find out what the teachers were talking about, and there was a bit of everything. Nevertheless, I, the girl who owes you nothing and never asks for anything in return, came to your rescue and brought the teachers back to their senses. They rescinded my suspension after you spoke to them. I don't believe you. Well, about that. Oh, what happened? Hey, don't look away. What are you trying to say? They agreed to go easier on you, but I had to barter with them. An insignificant detail, really. I don't like the sound of that. Go on. They said you guys have to learn your lesson, improve your judgment, blah 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 blah, you know? So it turns out that they desperately needed students to help them with, well, us and you are now officially the grad committee. You two have to help prepare the grad events, stuff like that. Wait a second. I see a car going fast enough to kill me if I jump in front of it. I'll be right back. Don't joke about that kind of stuff, jeez. We're all gonna graduate soon, and it's completely normal for a student committee to handle grad event preparations. You're gonna work together with some students from the other side. Both schools have representatives, when together the joint committee has to plan and organize all of the grad events. Nobody from my school volunteered this year, so they decided that it was a convenient punishment. Like the good friend I am, I said I'd join too, so all three of us will be working together. What do you think? Call an ambulance, but don't tell them not. But tell them not to bring any defibrillators. Defibrillators. Let them know they can release my ashes over the ocean. Come on, stop joking around. It'll be fun. All we need to do is figure out what needs to be done for the events. Plus, each year is more or less the same. But I have to make an effort. It's work. I also have the school hours. I'll need to actually communicate with other human beings, you know. Humans! Are you implying that I'm inhuman? Obviously. You didn't care about getting expelled, but you're worried about having to work? You're such a lazy ass. It reminds me of someone else. Look, being on the graduation committee is gonna be tedious. Some students will want one thing and others will want the opposite. You have to try to please everyone. That's difficult. If there are no alternatives, then I guess I'll have to do it, but I'd rather just change the subject for now. Yeah, change the subject, I see. You know what? I realized something. I already told you, if I have to join that stupid community, then I will. No, listen. I'm talking about you. I realized that maybe what you're suffering from is a schizoid personality disorder. Are you making up diagnosis again? I told you to stop looking at mental illnesses on Wikipedia. You wanted to change the subject, didn't you? Here you go. You don't enjoy socializing. You're detached on a personal level, and your sense of humor is unsympathetic. Yeah, you're a bit of an asshole. I think, the diagnosis here is that Kieran is just rude. You know? I don't know. At first I thought your writing obsession was a symptom of autism, but you don't seem to have any issues communicating with other people. However, it would make sense if you were a secret schizoid, since they're able to fake social interactions. Also, some schizoids show symptoms of those afflicted with Asperger's. It would make a lot of sense. Are you telling me that I'm autistic? Do you want to fight me or something? Just because I'm different doesn't mean I'm crazy. Correct, you aren't crazy. A lot of psychologists agree that schizoids don't actually suffer from a disorder, but that their behavior is part of their personality. Just because someone acts differently doesn't mean suddenly they're an alien. There are a lot of circumstances in which regular people can end up going crazy purely from the power of suggestion. The best way to prevent that is to be confident. There's nothing wrong with acting differently from others or making a mistake. Ziva seems pleased with her evaluation. I can only respond in low spirits, but I still have to admit that she's dedicated. And well, there is a lot of misdiagnosed, how do you say the word? Basically, even psychiatrists and psychologists can make mistakes too when they're, applying illnesses on people. I think there was like some sort of experiment. I can't really cite it right now. I don't remember what it was exactly, but basically, like a bunch of healthy people, basically, went to like a what was it? Like, what do you call it? Actually, a place where people with mental illnesses, they go to like a rehabilitation center or something like that. It's where you go, when a doctor or psychologist or psychiatrist diagnoses of you with like a real mental disorder, and it's where you live basically. And basically what I was trying to say, the experiment was that a bunch of healthy people went to this place and pretended to have these illnesses, and then the doctors prescribed them, or rather they diagnosed them with certain disorders, and then admitted them to this place. I can't forget. What do you call it? It's on the tip of my tongue. There's a word for it, but anyway, they went to this place, and it's not easy to get out, right? Usually, you have to stay there until you're cured, basically. And these healthy people, part of the experiment that the psychologists and the psychiatrists and the doctors didn't know at the time. They didn't know this was an experiment. They pretended to have the illness. They were admitted, and then after they were admitted, they just started acting like normal people again, right? Hoping that they would be released. And as it turns out, it was really hard to get released. In fact, most of the people weren't released, right? Because it was never good enough. They were never, quote unquote, cured, right? And so, this sample size basically kind of, proved a little that even psychology can make mistakes, right? Even like normal personality traits can be misconstrued as an illness, as a disorder, right? And I guess this is partially what Ziva's trying to say, you know? That's why you're trying to give me your notebook so that I can study it. We have to get to the heart of the matter. For the rest of the walk to the sports center, Ziva tries to steal my notebook by shoving her hands in my pockets. From the outside, the situation undoubtedly looks like Ziva's trying to tear my pants off. It doesn't help when she tells you, tear your pants off, lewd. Anyway, it doesn't help when she yells, "Come on, show it to me. It'll be only for a moment, let me see it." But it isn't as wonderful as it appears. To be honest, I wouldn't even wish this on my worst enemy. Oh wait, Ziva is my worst enemy. In that case, I do wish it. A few minutes later, I stand waiting near one of the basketball courts at the center. It's actually one of those multi-sports courts that provides equipment for an array of different sports. At the moment, only a basketball team is training at the center, so I'm left to assume that they're the it I'm supposed to join. I speak to the coach, who's now under the impression that today I'm observing to decide whether or not I want to join his team. Apparently they have to pay to train here. That's crazy. Ziva gives me a pat on the back and a quick wink before she sits on the bench and plays with her cell phone. Even though she had insisted on coming with me, she ran away so quickly. I don't think I'll ever understand her. Well, maybe she just wants to spend time with you, Mr. Protagonist. But, whatever. Hey you, new guy. You're Kieran, right? One of the team members approaches me before they begin training. Even though he looks up to the task by himself, he asks if I can help him prepare the court. I assume this is what they usually do to try to help integrate new members. Maybe I should do the same and try to break the ice too. Huh? You play basketball with balls? I thought you hit a scale with a bat and watch as the plate soars upwards based on how hard you hit. My new teammate is speechless. He looks pretty bewildered. Bewildered. Come on, don't give me that look. I was kidding. Everybody knows that's actually soccer. Eh? No? God damn it. Training has only just started. I'm pretty sure that my lungs have already begun to collapse. My first impression of basketball that it's contradictory. Why do they need so many strong, tall men when they can't make contact with each other? The most they allow is a bit of brushing, but you can't so much as poke them. Sounds like they're made of glass. I could even accept the rule that it didn't make defending so hard to do. If an opposing team's player has the ball and touches you, you get a foul unless you are standing still, but if you're standing still, then you can't defend your hoop. Is that unfair? It doesn't help me that I'm bad in offense, and therefore the only thing I can do is defend. I'm new, so cut me some slack here, please. After an hour of training, I feel like death itself is looming over me. Now I'm hobbling around and using the secret skill I developed that makes it look like I'm doing something when I'm really not. It's a technique that you can only master once you become a civil servant or a politician, so I'm very proud of it. Fortunately, the coach claps to get our attention and asks all of us to gather in the middle of the court. Thankfully, it means I can take a rest. Alright guys, this next round we're gonna play a friendly match. Another match? This coach is really trying to kill me. Shoot, coward. You're only gonna kill a man. I organized it in a rush, but since every year we always play against... Oh, they're already here. Our coach looks past us, and all of us instinctively follow his gaze. Another basketball team casually chats amongst themselves as they enter the court. There's one opposing team member in particular that stands out, at least to me. Don't let them win just because they're girls, okay? I know it's an easy match, but don't start flirting mid-game. The players of the women's basketball team walk over to our team and begin chatting with us. Only one of them refuses to join in, and she's standing in front of me. Her face shows restraint and her eyes are emotionless, wrapped in turmoil. Oh. It's Mysterious Girl X. I think I would have preferred getting shot after all. Well, our coach stands in the middle of the court and confirms that both teams are ready, and then with a nod, signals us to start. The tallest player from each team meets in the center of the court. At the whistle's signal, the ball is released and both players try to grab it. Everyone feels the tension between them. It will for sure be a bloody battle of courage, a beautiful collision of opposing souls brought together by basketball. Well, luckily for me, I can pass on all that by sitting out. No basketball for Karen. Basketball is a 5 versus 5 sport. Thanks to that, only a portion of the team plays at any one time. Still, everyone has a chance to play because players get switch out every so often. Well, it's not my turn yet, thankfully. I'm the new guy here, so if I'm told to sit out on the bench, then I won't complain. I have other business to attend to anyways. In particular, with someone who's playing right now. She just stared at me for a while without saying anything. Isn't that weird? I mean, why wouldn't she say anything? Doesn't she recognize me from our encounter yesterday? Yes, it's true that our meeting was short, but I thought she just forgot about it. Especially considering she saw me leave her apartment. Oh, rather than say anything after staring at me, she left with the rest of her team and started chatting with them as if nothing had happened. How am I supposed to react to that? As if that wasn't enough, Ziva vanished at some point, so now I can't even ask her for advice. Oh. The only thing I know for sure is that Mysterious Girl X is here and that it isn't a coincidence. She has to be involved with those emails, I'm sure of it. Maybe that's why she didn't say anything. I need to be cautious. I have to gather all the information I can before I make my move so that I won't mess up. My bad. That was a foul. Your ball. Don't worry. We'll get right back. The first impression I have of her is as a player is positive. She's competitive but still accepts responsibility for her mistakes. She plays for bangs, smiles, and encourages her teammates by telling them everything will be alright. That's okay. We lost that one. Don't worry about it. Let's get those points back, alright? She's emitting courage out of every pore, or at least that's how it seems, but something's off. Her? The one playing forward? Taking advantage of the girl, or well, the guy, not the girl. The guy sitting next to me, or taking advantage of his knowledge. I ask him if he knows anything about Mysterious Girl X. Oh, her name's Luce, if I'm not mistaken. Lucy or Luce? I don't know. Luce, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Lucy. Lucy? Is it Lucy? Well, Lucy is spelled with a Y, though. It's not Lucy, I don't think. Luce? We'll say Luce. I'm gonna assume the E is silent and just say Luce. She's been playing for the women's basketball team for a while. Their team isn't great, but she does well. She has a ton of passion and can really tell how much she enjoys basketball. Of all her team, she's the one who puts in the most effort. Last time we played, she surprised us more than once. We try to go easy on their team, but hey, I won't deny that she's quite skilled. Her speed is her best asset, as you can see. Why do you ask? I dismiss my teammate's question by saying it was just curiosity. He replies with a cackle, which I choose to ignore. My head's still spinning with ideas when the coach interrupts me. Hey new guy, do you want to join the game? His question surprises me. I try to turn it down by saying that I only get in the way. Ah, well, it's just a friendly match, so it's fine. We're winning and we need to screw things up pretty badly to lose against those girls. Wow, you're really underestimating your opponents here. When I try to refute his statement, he speaks over me. I'll go with him, coach. I can help him up if he freezes up. Perfect, then it's decided. Switch, you two go in. The terrifying power of democracy has reared its ugly head and defeated me. You'll be number 11, got it? Good luck. That good luck, followed by a wink, makes my stomach knot up from the implications. As soon as I find out the 2-digit number, my worst fear becomes reality. My rival is none other than Luce, previously known as Mysterious Girl X. It's the girl's turn, and I have to stay close to Luce to block her. She's silent and never takes her eyes off me. It's quite frightening. It feels like she's looking directly into the core of my very soul. Is she challenging me? Well, she better know that I'm not too proud. She better know that I am too proud. So I'm not gonna let her get away, even for a second. Crap. As soon as the whistle blows, I lose her. In the blink of an eye, she's gone. And when I finally manage to find her again, she's too far away for me to catch up. Pass. Lucy receives the ball, takes a couple of steps to get closer to the hoop, and makes an elegant mid-range shot. The ball buries itself in the hoop with a swish shot. Number 11, with an unfriendly look plastered on her face, doesn't even make eye contact as she passes me. She briefly celebrates her team before returning to her defense position. Don't tell me. Our attack, as with the majority until now, ends with our center making a basket after catching the rebound, and makes me return to my defense position. I have to counter Luce again. She keeps her head back to me, or rather, she keeps her back to me, not her head, but in general her back, and puts distance between us, and then she disappears again as she spins around, leaving me behind. Luce's team passes her the ball with a bounce, just as she finishes positioning herself perfectly, but just before she can make a shot, I attack from behind by pulling on her shirt. That seems like a bad idea. Ah! She's shocked and loses her balance, dropping the ball in the process. In exchange, I get a foul and the game is paused temporarily. What's wrong with you? I shrug at her response. Lucy reacts by giving me a weird look of disbelief. Although she's trying hard to hide it, I can see a small smile strewn across her face. The game eventually resumes and the women's team starts with the ball. The match continues much like the past couple of rounds. I stick to Luce like glue, and as soon as she runs away from the ball, I commit a foul one way or another. Oh boy. I repeat the process a couple more times, and she responds with an even stronger defense each time. Not that it means anything, since I'm never actually trying to do anything while attacking. I don't even know how to be on the offensive. The ironic part is that, according to one of my teammates, my fouls are a legitimately used strategy in real basketball matches. If a player tries to spread away and it seems like they'll score, committing a foul is a good way to prevent them from getting the point. It's impossible that they may still get a score from the free throw they get after that, but there's always a chance that they'll miss it instead. It's also useful when you want a rival to lose their focus. It's something that pros do from time to time. Although, I'd say that it isn't the case right now, since this girl seems to be playing even better than before. The only problem with my strategy is that after committing 5 fouls, the guilty party is kicked out of the game. But hey, it's probably for the best in my case, right? These crazy rules actually work in my favor. Hey you. Since someone else on her team is handling the ball, Luce finally decides to speak to me. I have something to tell you. After so long, she acknowledges me. In the middle of the basketball match, may not be the best time to do this, but if I can find out what's going on, then I can't complain. It appears that staying put has worked out well for me. Hey, I'm talking to you. Pay attention. What was it? John? Why don't y'all come here? We got stuff to talk about. Yeah, do y'all understand? Followed by some weird hand gestures, Los tries to communicate with me in some odd hillbilly accent. Huh, I understood you the first time. Did you seriously believe I talk like that? But you... The previously silent girl is surprised when she speaks without an odd accent. I can't help but laugh when I see her make a flustered face. I still saw you in my apartment yesterday. What were you doing there? Who are you, a stalker? I stopped laughing as soon as I recall what had transpired yesterday. What are you talking about? You're the one who asked me to come here. You sent me those emails, right? Emails? What emails? I shiver. Oh, she didn't send them. She has to be lying, but, well, nothing really adds up. Are you telling me it's a coincidence that you're here now after what happened yesterday? Do you really think I'm gonna believe that? The women's team suddenly scores a point. Now used to the routine, I head back to the opposite end of the court as loose. But now we're more concerned with finishing our conversation than playing the game. I don't even like basketball. It's my first time playing. If it were up to me, I'd be doing something else right now. I came here for another reason. Then why have you been on my tail this whole time? You've been forcing fouls for a while now. I can hear you breathing, you know. You're panting. No one would put so much effort into something they dislike. Lewis is right. I'm already exhausted from the training earlier, but at least I've been trying to avoid putting in too much effort. Although, now that I have to be pretty active if I want to keep up with Lewis. Even if I only want to commit fouls, I can't do anything if she gets too far away, and she's definitely exceptionally fast. In fact, it seems like she'll never stop moving. You're the one to talk. You're the one who's been running around this whole time. Luz looks baffled and shakes her head without understanding what I meant. Oh, it's obvious, right? You're disgusted with this match. Both your team and mine. Your teammates aren't putting any effort, and mine are going easy on your team. Even the coach seems to take you ladies lightly. Even though it's a friendly match, that's no excuse. Even I notice how condescending my team is. It's truly disgusting. You've been trying to act cool and composed the entire game despite that. You even forced a smile to encourage your team, but deep down, you're actually furious about all this. And I know that because when you're upset, you nervously play with your bangs. You do it to try to help control your breathing, calm down, but in reality, it doesn't help you at all. Even when the game was going on in your favor, you were still upset. The moment I decided to play all out against you is when you became more lively, and then you decided to talk to me. The outcome makes no difference. The only thing you want is for everyone to take the match seriously. Well, I guess if there's one thing going on for Kieran is that he's very observant. I guess. You must really love this sport if you have that kind of attitude about it, I think. That's why I'm going all out even if it's only for a bit. I guess anything else would be disrespectful. Luz takes a deep breath after listening to me. She doesn't reply nor gives any confirmation. She lowers her guard for a second, and my team must have noticed it too, since they suddenly passed me the ball. I reflexively toss the ball away as soon as I catch it. I've always been bad at improvising while under pressure. It's a weakness of mine. Yeah, that happened to me before. It's kind of embarrassing, but one time when I was playing basketball, I accidentally passed to the wrong team, you know. I don't know. I'm not great at sports. So I didn't think I'd have to touch the ball for the rest of the game. There's no way a rookie like me could ever make. As if it were guided by magic, the ball falls in the hoop without even brushing against the rim. Amazing, you were lucky, Kieran. The clear sound leaves everyone astonished. In a matter of seconds, they start congratulating me on my first score. Even Girl X, in her own way. It went in. A 3-pointer. What do you think? That was my special shot. It's a masterpiece that I've been developing for years. I learned it while playing basketball in Philadelphia a while ago. It's so effective and unique that nobody ever expects it. Try not to poke anyone with that nose of yours, Pinocchio. It was just a fluke. Maybe. A little. I could totally make that shot again anytime. It's my moment of glory, so don't ruin it for me. Luz huffs and puffs in response. She looks like she wants to kill me on the spot, but she is trying hard to suppress it. Instead, she smiles and makes fun of me. Oh, really? Then why don't you try it again right after, since you're so very confident? Oh, please, you know that basketball is a team sport. I shouldn't carry the team all by myself. Then how about we make a bet? A bet? Oh no. She has just said the magic word. Yes, you might have gotten a little carried away with the situation, but Karen, you must think this through. The temptation may be difficult to oppose, but you mustn't accept the bet if you think it could go wrong. Listen to what she has to say and then politely turn down her offer. If you're able to make another three-pointer, no, another basket, then I'll believe that your visit to my apartment yesterday was a coincidence. But if you can't make the shot, then you'll have to explain yourself to me. Unless you want to be arrested, of course. Any basket. I've got to tell you that there isn't much to explain, though. I've already told you that I can't believe anything you say. I don't trust you at all. So if you can't score, then I'll have to win my trust. Then you'll have to win my trust. And for that to happen, you have to meet some of my chosen requirements first. Man, Luz is quite smug right now. You can't accept that bet, Kieran. It's a trick. Keep calm and decline. You have to be careful and choose your words carefully. Don't let your emotions and the challenge of the bet get the best of you. Cold, Kieran. Be ice cold to her. Deal! God damn it.